Hey everyone, welcome to This Explainer. Look, if you're tuning in, you're probably the type of person who just wants to cut through the noise and get straight to the real engineering facts. Well, today, we are completely tearing down a massive misconception in the DIY solar world. You see it absolutely everywhere online, this idea that a 12-volt, 1,000-watt solar system is basically just a simple plug-and-play starter kit. You know, a breezy weekend project. Let me tell you right now, that is a total myth, and honestly, it's a dangerous one. Today, we're doing a deep dive. We're going to deconstruct the engineering required to design the specific setup safely and effectively. It's time to shatter the illusion and look at the actual, loss-aware logic you need to build this the right way.
Okay, let's dive into this. Here's our blueprint for deconstructing this system piece by piece. We've got 6 main areas. Number 1, the high current illusion. Number 2, the physics of power. 3, sizing core components. 4, wiring and fire prevention. 5, inverter losses and surges, and wrapping it all up with number 6, final engineering checks. Let's get to it.
Section 1. The high current illusion.
If you've spent any time watching beginner guides out there, you've probably noticed they always hand you a really basic parts list, right? A panel, a battery, an inverter, maybe a controller. And they spend so much time prioritizing how clean or aesthetically pleasing the setup looks, but they completely gloss over the massive electrical stress happening right beneath the surface. So I want to ask you a direct question. Is a 12-volt, 1,000-watt solar setup really just a simple starter kit? We need to challenge that assumption right now and completely pivot our mindset away from those basic, low-stress lighting setups.
The expectation they sell you is that this is just a simple plug-and-play weekend project. You buy a cheap kit, plug the cables together, and boom, you're off-grid. But the reality? Oh, the reality is that you are building a heavy-duty, high-current load circuit. Now, 1,000 watts might sound pretty small for a house, sure, but at 12 volts, that is roughly equivalent to the electrical draw you need to crank a car engine. We are stepping firmly into high-current engineering territory here, and this is where shortcuts literally lead to total system failure.
Let's talk about the math behind that. Section 2, the physics of power.
To truly grasp why this is such a heavy-duty circuit, we have to look at the foundational math that governs absolutely every single decision in this build. And the first thing we need to wrap our heads around is super simple but absolute. Power equals voltage multiplied by current. It's a basic seesaw balance. If you want 1,000 watts of power and your system voltage is locked in at a very low 12 volts, then your current, that I in our equation, has to rise incredibly sharply to deliver that total power.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is what happens when you actually run those numbers. If you rearrange that formula to find the current of a 1,000-watt load at 12 volts, you get a staggering 80 to 100 amps. Let that sink in. That is the continuous current draw this so-called tiny system pulls right out of your battery. That is a massive amount of DC current that puts intense physical stress on your hardware. We are absolutely not talking about a tiny starter kit current anymore. This is a serious load.
Which leads us perfectly into Section 3. Sizing core system components.
That immense current draw we just calculated, that dictates exactly which components we absolutely must select for our power source and our storage. You can't just guess here. When you're matching your solar panel array to a charge controller, an MPPT controller isn't just a recommendation, it's an engineering necessity. Why? Because as your panel voltage rises, the MPPT steps that voltage down while safely and efficiently increasing the charging current. A PWM controller, on the other hand, is just going to burn off and waste all that available solar energy in a 12-volt setup. So remember, an MPPT is not some optional fancy upgrade. You absolutely need it to maximize your efficiency.
All right, let's talk batteries. Since energy equals voltage times amp hours, a 12-volt system is going to drain incredibly fast under 1,000-watt load. Because of that brutal 80-amp draw, your battery has to be able to release energy without a massive voltage drop. Now, traditional lead-acid batteries suffer rapid voltage sag under this kind of intense load. They just can't keep up. Lithium iron phosphate, or LiFePO4, performs dramatically better and can actually handle the peak current. But, and this is a huge but, it can only do that if its battery management system, the BMS, is specifically rated for high discharge current. If it's not, you're going to experience a sudden, complete system cutoff.
Section 4. Wiring and fire prevention.
Listen up, because we are officially entering the danger zone. This right here is where the vast majority of real-world DIY installations actually fail. When you are pushing roughly 100 amps, wire thickness is absolutely not optional. Well, unless your goal is for your cables to double as a space heater. If you use undersized DC cables, they will heat up. Thermal heat is a giant red flashing warning sign. It means you're losing energy and, much more critically, it means you have a severe fire risk on your hands. Under this kind of stress, we also constantly see terminal connections vibrating loose and severe voltage drops that will literally cause your inverter to just shut down entirely, even if your battery is completely full.
So the crucial point, the absolute non-negotiable rule of solar engineering is this. The fuse must always be placed close to the battery's positive terminal. If you put the fuse in the wrong place, you are basically creating an arc fault hazard. You have to treat this fuse not just as some annoying little accessory that came in the box, but as a catastrophic fire prevention system. It is literally there to protect the entire integrity of your circuit.
Section 5. Inverter losses and surges.
Now, let's shift our focus over to the final piece of hardware. A 1000-watt inverter is actually going to pull way more power from your battery than whatever the sticker on the box says. This brilliantly illustrates the reality of hidden conversion losses. See, inverter efficiency is never 100%. In the real world, you're looking at maybe 85 to 92% usable power. That means 8 to 15% of your energy is just lost entirely, converted straight into heat. So when you flip on a 1000-watt appliance, those conversion losses force your battery to supply a significantly higher DC draw just to make up the difference. And to make matters a little trickier, it's not just about continuous power. We have to talk about startup surge loads. When an appliance first kicks on, the power it demands instantly spikes way past that 1000-watt rated limit. Because of this, your system absolutely must be engineered with overhead safety margins. You need headroom. If you don't build in that margin to survive those temporary power spikes, your inverter's going to shut down, or your battery's BMS is just going to pull the plug right when you need it.
Section 6. Final engineering checks. All right, we've deconstructed the physics, we've sized the components, and we've exposed the hidden losses. So here are your final concrete steps for a successful and safe build. Step 1. Respect high current draw. It is literally the defining characteristic of a low-voltage, high-wattage system. Step 2. Manage thermal heat in your wiring. You have to design using actual heat and resistance logic, not just guesswork. And Step 3. Ensure proper fuse protection right near that positive terminal. Always remember, if your inverter shuts down randomly when the battery is full, it's almost always because of severe voltage drops from long, thin cables. That is a wiring failure, guys, not a broken battery.
I want to leave you with this final, somewhat provocative thought to chew on. Electrical systems do not forgive oversights. Seriously, they do not care about your intentions. They operate strictly on the cold, hard laws of physics. If your wiring is too thin, if your fuse placement is wrong, or if your battery discharge rating is off, sure, the system might turn on for a minute or two, but it will inevitably fail under a real load. So as you sit down to plan out your next project, I really challenge you to design your system with current in mind, not just wattage. Now, just a quick safety disclaimer before we wrap up. Electrical work is incredibly dangerous, and this explainer is strictly for educational purposes. Always consult a qualified professional when you're dealing with high current setups. Thank you so much for joining me to break down the real engineering behind 12-volt solar systems. Stay curious, stay safe, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.